Kia ora, tēnā koutou, planting seeds. Awesome to be here with you today. It's just me, myself, and I. And I used to call these solo sessions, but I'm rebranding it to keep it in brand. And these now are called Grow With Me. The host, Rani Rereuri of the Planting Seeds podcast, not only am I having these conversations, but I'm receiving so much from them as well. So I want to share some of my own personal reflections, and then also just what I get up to in the background. What are some things that I'm going through personally and working through as I see some of the comments and really get a lot out of people engaging and also sharing that they're resonating with it, because that is what charges me up and gives me a lot of drive. And that's where I want to start this episode, is just to acknowledge each and every one of you who choose to tune in and engage with the Planting Seeds podcast, whether it is on YouTube, Spotify, or the streaming platforms, or it's just on Instagram Reels or wherever it is that you're plugging in and dropping in, because I see that engagement and it just, again, really gives me a lot of drive, because I think about the intention as it was conversations, it was being around different people that really gave me a lot of awareness around where I was at within myself. And it was in those kinds of discussions where massive changes were happening, because one, I was learning from people and their stories, and then that made me see how I could implement those things in the pathway that I was on. And that's what I'm seeing. You know, people are finding resonance in people's stories and in their journey, and you tuning in, you engaging is honoring the intention, but it also just allows for things to keep moving. And that's what I'm about, growth. I love the feeling of growing, and when you can do that alongside other people, as well as it adding massive value, to me, that's it. And so mihi nui a kia koe, and keep doing it, right? If not, do it more. If you can do it more, I should say. The next mihi is our to Hui Tāne. Went up to Kaitaia, and that series of really having kōrero and discussions with the Tāne who came on the show, it was massive, it was huge, and I knew it was important, and I knew that was a space that a lot of kōrero and insights need to be shared at a table, because it's hearing that way people think, it's hearing their whakaaro, it's hearing their vulnerability, is a way for it to be modelled. So our tāne who are going through challenges, or who are even on this huarahi, can really find some kind of rongoa, right? They can feel the rongoa, they can get something out of it. And one thing that I'm going to work really hard on is, I know Tāne are going through things, but a lot of the people who engage in my content, whether it is the podcast or online, a lot of it's wahine. And so for me, it's about how can the kōrero that is needed be in front of the people who need it. Ka pai. And so that's the kind of stuff that I'm working on in the background. But going straight into Papa Hone, huge mihi to Papa Hone. You know, the first one who came on the show, he was also the one who reached out and invited me up to Kaitaia and to bring up the Planting Seeds podcast, so that people who weren't at the hui can feel the mauri of the hui. And the main thing that I got from Papa Hone's kōrero is that the reason why Hui Tāne was created was because of his own experience of losing a son, of losing a mokopuna. And it's in those real challenging trenches that we tend to guide the things that we do from that point. Meaning it was the loss of someone that inspired or gave this huge shift in wanting to do something about it. And we can find those things in all of our lives. And if we are able to accept, find some kind of reasoning, find a way to be able to push through, it becomes our strength. I look at my setbacks and insecurities or things that I've had to go through. It was those things that I went through that gave me the foundation to now do what I do now. What was once a setback becomes the foundation for the step towards growth. And hearing his kōrero about why the actual kaupapa was created was something that I resonated with, but also just around his leadership. everyone that was there was a lot of people there. There were a lot of people of prominence and leadership, and they had a lot of things going on at that time. But Papa Hone's call made them drop everything else to be there. And that speaks to mana. That speaks to someone who has mana, because people are willing to stop what they're doing to support, to tautoko, and to show up. And for me, that's the kind of thing that I want to model. Is I want to be able to, not that I can just ring people up, but it's just the amount of things that I can give to whatever it is that I'm doing and to the people that I care about. Because I'm sure if it was going the other way, it would be a drop of the hat, the same for Papa Hone. And so it's those kinds of things that I'm seeing within the people that I'm sitting across from. The next person on the episode was Hemi Kapakingi, a good bro and someone who's very articulate, someone who's very clever, and also in the space of navigating being a tāne, a papa, a partner, as well as service. And he spoke about the Maui complex, and for me, that speaks to how we as tāne and even people try and be good at every single thing that we set out to do. And what we find out is that we tend to fall short in some areas, and that can be the reason as to why we don't feel worthy, why we don't feel enough. But being able to have a higher perspective and be where we are and trusting in our abilities to do what it is that we are naturally good at, not everything, but a few things, we can find our enough. And he illustrated that as, instead of looking too far at Hawaii ki hau, or Hawaii Kinui, which is the area you are working towards or the goal you're working towards, how about we bring more focus and energy to our Hawaii ki iti, meaning to the present moment, to where your life is now. And I saw that as having this lens of gratitude, being able to be grateful for where we are, because that gives us the energy, or gives us the feedback, as well as the shift in our mindset, so we're not looking at what we don't have. And that's another trap that we can fall into, is that because we look so far ahead in what we want in our lives, it sort of brings us into where we are right now, and we don't see that. And that's a real trap, because it zaps our energy and it makes us feel like we're not where we want to be. But we are where we are. And so can we shift our mindset and our way of viewing things so that we can actually appreciate and have more joy available, as well as just still working hard towards where we're going? Then we had a kōrero with Papa Phil, and oh my days, I just felt so much emotion in that kōrero, and even just being around him, his presence, his aura, and just the potency, right? The strength, the resilience, the vulnerability, just everything that he was talking about, I felt where it was coming from. And I'm sure you could too. You know, he spoke about his upbringing, very once were warriors like. Then he stepped into being that version too, until he had these breakthrough moments that really shifted his ways so that he could now become the man that he is today, which is a safe man. And he's helping people who have the same story as his. But the one that really got me is when he had that moment with his wife, years after he had made changes. He had this epiphany through a conversation with the wahine. And it was the story around having consent for men to be intimate with their wives. And he had that kōrero with his wife, and although it was years and years and years and years before, they were able to reconcile and come closer together. And that illustrated to me that healing doesn't stop. You could be years down the track and you can reconcile something with people that you care about, something that happened years and years and years ago. And that made me very emotional, just to see a tāne at his mature age being able to drop back into that space and to apologize, right? To be remorseful, but to also be open enough to receive whatever was going to come back. And so mihi nui atu kia papafu, and at the moment he has put out there that he is going through some health challenges. So for those who have received a lot from their kōrero, just have him in your whakaaro, have him in your prayers, so that he can have all the strength that he can to be able to fight off the things that he's going through. Then we went into tātere, and oh my days, there was a meke kōrero, and sitting across from someone of his mana, everything that he's done for te reo Māori, for his iwi, for his whānau, and the heart-to-heart kōrero, being able to hear the person behind the accolades. And there was a lot of feedback around how important that was for a lot of people, speaking on men's suicide, speaking on ADHD, speaking on the healing within te reo Māori and te ao Māori. And I love those kinds of conversations because we can see someone as someone, but we can also get to know the person and who they are. And that creates a bridge for us to be able to connect. And he shared some beautiful kōrero, and a lot of his content really resonated. And the one thing that I had a kōrero with him about after was, although men's mental health isn't his primary space, as he's very much so in te ao Māori, te reo Māori, his reo, his kōrero has added so much to the space. For those of us who are in it, we can navigate it using more of what he shared. So e mihi nui ana kia tātere. And then we had another kōrero with Kona, and someone that I just felt like we were both having a podcast. We were both the host. We were both the guests, because he allowed me to share a lot of the things. And because he was the last episode, it felt like I was ready to do a lot of talking too, because I was receiving so much from everyone else that it felt like, man, I need to start giving out some of this energy. And we had this meke kōrero, and I certainly felt it, just sharing our own healing journeys, more around our relationship to our papa, but also how we navigate creating safe spaces through the safe spaces that we've been in. And yeah, the more that I talk about my own healing journey, the more that I talk about how I've navigated through certain things, it helps me to feel a lot more settled, because we might go through things and we might understand, but as soon as you start to speak about it publicly and openly, you build a different relationship with it, because there's more for you to accept and lean into, rather than just feeling, I guess, what comes with it, And so hearing Kona, being within his space, allowed me to be more open. And it was that thing, the more vulnerable you are, you give permission for other people to be vulnerable, which is amazing. And so where am I now? I've got my notes here on my iPad, by the way. Right now I'm feeling a lot more connected and a lot more drive in a way that I haven't felt in a long time. I had a conversation with one of my best and closest bros, and I was able to have a space where I could just kōrero and let my whakaaro flow. And what happens when you get into those spaces is that you can then see what you've been thinking. What I mean by that is we might talk, but then we can start to unpack thoughts that we haven't really spoken out loud. And I was speaking thoughts out that I hadn't really spoken out loud before, and then I saw what I was actually thinking subconsciously. And so when I put it out, I was like, man, this is what I want. And then I saw what I needed to do. And it was very obvious to me. It was like, this is what I want and this is what I want to do, but this is what I'm not doing. And so it was clear to me that I just need to do that because this is sorted. And so I started to wake up early in the morning, and I've been doing it now for the last 4 weeks, waking up around 4 o'clock in the morning, jumping in the ice bath and coming straight into the mobile studio and getting into work. That work is editing podcasts, editing reels, putting work into projects, creating different frameworks and ideas and concepts, and just really allowing myself to be creative in that first stage of my day. And that has created a lot of momentum, because a lot of what I used to do is I'd wake up go to the gym, have a workout, help out Hine Pānia with the kids, then put my son on the van, and then I'd come in. And so I wouldn't get into work until about 9, 10 o'clock. Then I'd have a train, or then Hine Pānia would want to have a workout, so then I'd have to look after baby. And then I might just get like 3 or 4 hours of work a day, or I might have to come in after dinner and work late into the evening. And so there was a lot of interrupted work that I was doing before all of this, because I was prioritizing my health. I was prioritizing my whānau, and my mahi pila was the one that was being sacrificed. And then the pressure of, man, I need to actually get creative, make some money because we've got things coming up, and I just need to look after my whānau. And so instead of focusing too heavy on those pillars, I put all of my focus into my mahi pila. And because I was doing a lot of mahi in the first 3 or 4 hours of the day uninterrupted, it gave me a lot of energy because I felt productive already. Then that just flowed into helping out more with Hine Pānia in the evenings because I was available. That then helped me to be a bit more strategic with my training. Instead of training every day, I'm only doing 4 or 5 sessions a week with a couple of rest days, because that's just where my focus is at. And so that one conversation created a massive shift in how and what I'm doing, because all I know is that this is where I'm wanting to go. And right now, I need to focus on what I need to do every day. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. Just keep it simple and show up and do the work. I share a lot of this on my stories, just like little me waking up, doing an ice bath and getting ready with mahi. But a lot of what I'm actually doing, no one cares. And also, no one cares about what I'm doing more than me. Along with, if it's all unseen and people see what I'm putting out, all of this stuff is what makes all of this possible. And I saw it in my best bro. I saw it in him when that person that I had a conversation with, Bubba James, he owns Drip Desserts with his partner. For a long time, he just went ghost mode. For a long time. All of this year, basically. Would invite him out, he would say no. Would have even just random catch-ups, he would say no, because he was just so focused on his mahi and what he was doing. I felt like it was ratchet, but that was just because I wanted to be with my friend. All the while, he was just so committed to what he was doing. Now they're doing really well. Their business is pumping. They've hired employees. They've been able to purchase new things for themselves and their family. But the main thing is that he's got time available now. And so we're catching up a lot more regularly. But he gave me the example. I've seen it. I had heard it. And that's the thing. You can see it in terms of the inspirational quotes, other people doing it. You might know what you need to do. But when you have a physical example, in terms of my best bro really going through it, I saw him model it. And so for me, I'm now seeing the fruits and I'm just doing the same. And so these are the things of where I'm at now, and I'm loving it. You know, on the outset, the results might not necessarily be where I know they can be, but I know that I'm doing all that I can to get closer every single day. My goal of posting every day to get to 100,000, that's going incredibly well, because now Hine Pānia is a part of my content and everyone loves her because she's funny, and you know, you're seeing a different side and she brings a lot more playfulness out. And I'm almost at 50,000, so almost 3,000 extra followers since I've started. I've just seen a recent stat that I've hit 1 million engagement interactions on my page, which is amazing, and it is growing, and I am being a lot more creative and giving other people a platform and just sharing more of the things that I'm doing rather than just being deep and educational. I'm trying to create more variety because I'm the niche in terms of it's me. I just need to share more of me rather than this one version that I had been sharing, which is the deep whakaaro. And so, what's next? Right now, I've got upcoming episodes coming out. Got one with Joe Webb, the owner of Clothing. I'm also going up to Tāmaki shortly, and I'll be doing more podcast episodes. The person that comes to mind is Tom Hearn, who is a brother, but he's also a New Zealand director who's got a powerful and beautiful story. So that's happening, and hopefully we can get some more. The other thing is I'm still working at some funding to create another amazing series with the production team so that we can just elevate the Planting Seeds podcast, but also get some financial backing that can create it, but to also support me and my whānau as well. The other exciting thing is that me and Hinepani are going to Bali in a couple of weeks, and this was something that just was in the spur of the moment. We're no financial means to actually go, but we just did it because that's the kind of life that we want to live. We want to live a life where we have these experiences together. And Hinepania came into some pūtea, for being a mama, and she used that money to get us a trip. And so we're using that as a way to give us an experience, but to also give us something amazing to look forward to. And it's giving me a lot more drive to be more intentional with what I'm doing now, which has been amazing. And so we go in a couple of weeks, and there's a few moving parts. I'm doing a lot more mahi with rangatahi, so going in, doing workshops, sharing my story and sharing concepts with them, which is what they're engaging with. And that has been something that has been really awesome too, because for a long time I hadn't done rangatahi spaces because I didn't know how to bring my story or the things that I was learning and simplify them so that people could connect. Whereas now I think I feel like I'm able to do that a lot better now. And so they've been giving me energy. It's been super fun, and I've just been enjoying giving back to, the rangatahi here in Whakatāne. So I feel like I've babbled on way longer than usual, but this is just an update, a big mihi. I just wanted to really do this mainly to thank the Tāne who just came on, because that's the direction that the Planting Seeds podcast is going in now, and that's the direction of men's mental health, speaking more specifically to Tāne, because I just feel that there's a natural passion there for me to support our Tāne and be more active within that space. So there's going to be way more, if not all, guests that are going to be Tāne, because that's just the kind of voice that I feel is going to be where things are at the moment. So this is just where the direction is at, and for me, it feels a lot more natural. Not to say that the kaupapa isn't for wahine, because if it resonates and you know someone who is going through something, or it might even help you understand tāne more, because a lot of the challenges that we do go through are our own, but they can also come from being in relationships, and we might act out a certain way towards wahine, but what we go through internally is what you might be able to understand. So in learning from others, you might be able to learn more about either your own partner, your papa, your brother, your friend, or whoever else. So although there's going to be a lot of Tāne focused content, it doesn't mean to say that it's only for Tāne. So i runga i tērā, let me know in the comments who you would like to get on, and also just some whakaaro. Is there anything in here that resonated with you? And then let's just get more of these happening. And the last thing that I want to share is my Kaupapa Seeds of Self, an online kaupapa that's an extension of the Planting Seeds podcast. I'm calling it the #1 Māori community for growth-minded individuals. Growth-minded individuals who are passionate about health, getting ahead financially, being better for their whānau, but ultimately working towards a better version of themselves. We've got weekly calls, monthly calls, online courses loaded in, but most importantly, it's a whānau where you're sharing it with other people. And so if that's of any interest to you, use the link below, book a call with me, and let's see if this is the next step for you. Let's grow together, and I'll see you in the next episode. Mauri ora.